creating marketing image. And the reason I wanted you to be on the podcast, we talk a lot about advertising and marketing and things that people can do to help their careers. Books won't sell themselves, but I think sometimes people get stymied when it comes to actually producing these ads, because after all, that's not what writers do. We're good with words. Most of us are not that great with graphic images. And to me, that's where Bookbrush comes in. How would you describe what you do?
We provide a platform that gives an easy way for authors to create their own marketing images. You don't need to be tech savvy in order to use it. Once you, there's maybe a little learning curve. Once you get it, you've got it, and you can create images really quickly.
And so, for instance, people are creating book ads, for Facebook or Amazon advertising. How do they go about putting together some kind of visual image for that?
And when they first sign up for an account, they would upload their book covers, and it's drag and drop. It's really easy. And then those are in there every time they go to create an ad. They choose the ad size for the platform that they want to post to. So maybe Instagram and its size, the pixel dimensions that you need. There's Facebook, all those different BookBub, things like that. So they choose the ad size, and then they can just go through the steps to upload book cover. So there are over 50 different book templates from iPads, e-readers, books, trying to think, cover reveal, some with hands, all sorts of cool options that just with a click of the mouse, it puts your book cover right in there. And then they can add, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
add a background that really complements it, but yet isn't distracting. So their book cover really pops. And there's options for text and things like that. But even just the book cover on there, they download and they're set.
Sure, but I mean, people see book covers all the time. And I'm probably the most boring graphically person on earth, but that's what I upload a cover. But there are more interesting ways. You guys I was looking this morning at your mock-ups. Some of them are hilarious, ways people can put their book cover into pictures and make it much more lively, right?
Right. We do have 4 different features. So the custom creator is the one where you would just put your book cover in and create your ad from scratch. We have community templates in there where the ad's already created, and there's interesting backgrounds, wording, 5 stars, USA Today bestseller, things like that. They're completely editable, but if you're in a time crunch, you just put your book cover in there and download. And then the instant mock-ups that you mentioned, we have over 200 real-life images. So they're suitable for any type of genre. Right. And they're just people in real-life situations. You just click and put your book cover in there. Those take about 4 seconds a piece to download, and you are set.
4 seconds? No, I can't wait that long.
Yeah, so don't fire up 200 if you're in a time crunch there. But yeah, so they're really quick, and they're downloaded in a zip file to your computer.
No, some of those are fabulous. They're like, here's a guy, on a beach chair at the beach, except he's holding your book.
Yeah, and you didn't have to hire that model and pay him to go out there and make sure it's not raining. You're ready.
Right. Normally that would be, honey, go sit in that chair and I'll snap your picture. But no.
Well, even you don't have to go to the cafe and set your coffee up and your book and then try to get your scone positioned properly so that you can get a picture. It's all right there.
For that matter, you also have those 3D book covers. I saw those. I never had any idea where people get those until, of course, I went to your website. You take the cover and make it look 3-dimensional, like a print book or a stack of them or whatever.
So that's what's nice about in the custom creator. You can use those 3D, whether it's a book or there's audiobooks, things like that. And you can have them by themselves or a collage of several, and you don't need a background or anything. The collage is nice because it helps the reader see all the different formats that your book is available so that they can get a print version, then maybe audio, you can put it on a phone. And so the visual takeaway in that is that readers see, I can get this book in all these different formats.
Right. Well, it makes it look so much more real and substantial. There's a 3-dimensional book, for Pete's sake.
Right. Quick.
I think I mentioned Bookbrush in the news section after I got back from Novelist Inc., the convention this year. And I told you about this too, because it wasn't your session. It was the one run by the guy from BookFunnel, who was talking about how to incorporate Bookbrush to create these fabulous business cards. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yep. So I mentioned the community templates, and those are the pre-made
Mm-hmm.
templates you can put your book in, and you can sort by the platform that you want to put them on, and you could also sort by business card. So if you want to do the type of business card and this is where BookFunnel would come in, you could use their codes. So that if you're at a conference and you want to hand out these cards that has the code that they can download the book for free, we have the way to help you make the business cards.
So first create the landing page, I guess, that's the BookFunnel connection. Mm-hmm. And then you've got a link on the business card that takes people straight there.
And some of them just have those individual codes.
Oh, so a code they use when they're there.
Yep.
Okay, I got you. That's very cool. I mean,
it can be a one-time use code, so they're each different, so that you didn't inadvertently give away 100 copies if you only meant to do 25.
I know there are people out there at Writers Conference advising people to show up for business cards with pitches, and here's a card with your face or a picture of your book cover, and I just question how useful any of that either is. But this one that you're describing with the codes and whatnot, now that's a good thing to be passing around.
For sure. I can also send you a link to an article that kind of talks about those and how folks use them.
Please do that, and I'll put it in the show notes that go with this interview. Do you have any feel for how people are using Bookbrush most? Is it for Facebook ads, or I know I read a blog post on your website about using Bookbrush images at Twitter. Do you have any feel for what people are doing most?
I think it depends on the author and where they enjoy the platform they enjoy promoting on. So some people are really into Instagram. And so like, for example, there's Bookstagrammers. And so on those instant mock-ups, for example, and in the other platforms that we have too, it's sectioned off. So you have the square ads that are perfect for Instagram and the horizontal that are great for Facebook. And then the vertical or size for Pinterest, if that's where you want to be promoting. And so we see a lot of all of that. It's just different authors gravitate towards different platforms where they have.
No, that really makes sense. I mean, I always think of Facebook first because that's where I am, and it always seems more useful for writers. But I know there are a lot of people making great headway on Instagram. So basically, it sounds like you could more or less create the ad once, but then size it differently for different platforms.
Yes. So there's an option to save as a template, and then you can come back and work on it. You don't have to start from scratch. And at the same time, you could also save it as Facebook, go back to ad size, switch to Instagram, rearrange your elements a little bit so it looks pleasing, and download again. So you wouldn't have to start each ad all the way from the beginning.
That's fantastic. And that's what seems to me is really useful about Bookbrush. I mean, and the pricing too, but we'll talk about that in a second if it's okay with you. But we all know there are other graphic design type programs out there. I've got Photoshop on my computer and I use it occasionally to resize things, but I really have no idea what 9/10 of those buttons and tabs do. It's way too complicated for me. And I know some people use Canva, but Bookbrush is designed for writers, right?
That's what I think is special about our platform and why we have such a nice following even so far is because it has what authors need. So we have, for example, stamps. You might call them logos. Our lingo is stamps. And they're bookstore retailers, platforms where you would sell books. So it's all author related in the writing industry.
Mm-hmm. Now, I alluded to price, so we have to go back there. But I mean, there are some things you can do. You can take Bookbrush for a test drive without paying anything, right?
Well, we have a free plan that's free forever, and you can create 3 images per month. So you can create and download. And that's fine that's a perfect fit for some folks that are just dipping their toe into the marketing and just starting. It's a little bit limited. So you only have a choice of a few fonts and a few book templates and things like that. But it lets you see, is this something that I want to give it a try? Mm-hmm. Then when you upgrade, our Plus plan is $96 a year. It breaks down to $8 a month, but we do have, it's just paid annually. It's an annual pricing.
Can you do it by the month, or is it annual? You go for the annual?
Yep, it's annual, and it's set up to renew. You could cancel, but it's set up to renew automatically, so you don't lose any of all the things that you have, the things you've saved in your downloads and so forth.
I know what I was thinking, because the whole thing, I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly, but I remember it was less than $100. So that's like maybe $7 or $8. Something. I mean, it's...
Yeah. Then I also want to mention we have a premium add-on that's $20 a month, and that's where you get the instant mock-ups and our new box set creator. And I'll talk about the box set creator too, if you'd like to. That's optional, and that's an extra $20 for the year. I may have said month. It's $20 a year.
No, I want to hear about the box set creator. I did that once for a series of books that I sort of shepherded called Shine, but I had no idea how to create a box set looking thing. So I sent it out. How do you do it on Bookbrush?
So this just launched this past week, I think, and we're so excited about it because there are very few places that authors can create this themselves. So we've built it where you create your spines in the platform. What we found out as we worked with our beta testers on this is a lot of authors don't have the PDF or the image of their spine. What they have is the book cover. And so in order to make this, what you need are the spines. So we have easy templates where you can make your spines and then create the box set. It's pretty easy. You can do it in just a couple of minutes. You can have from 2 to 10 spines lined up in this.
That's even better than what I had. That's fabulous.
And they look really nice. They do.
Yeah. Well, as everybody can probably tell, I give Bookbrush my highest endorsement. One way or another, we got to get you or somebody from Bookbrush out to WriterCon next year. I think people would be really interested in that.
I'm interested in going. I think it'll be fun.
Fantastic. Kathleen, thanks for being on the podcast.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks again to Kathleen for being on the podcast. Some of the things she talked about in this interview, like the business with the business cards and the print codes and whatnot, there are wonderful posts on the Bookbrush website in their blog explaining how this can be done, and it's really pretty simple. So I'm going to add links to those articles in the show notes for this podcast. And I kicked myself afterwards because I didn't even ask her about video. But they also have materials and templates online for you to create video ads if you want. So one more thing you can do at Bookbrush. At the end, you heard me mention WriterCon. I'm happy to announce that Kathleen and Bookbrush are going to appear at WriterCon next year. I know that's a long time away, but I have to plan early, and it's exciting. And if you want to see Kathleen and Bookbrush and everybody else who's going to be there, you can register for the conference right now. Register early and get the early bird rate, which is significantly less than what people will be paying next year. Check that out at writercon.org. Until next time, remember, you cannot fail if you refuse to quit.